today we'll see the we'll start from Maxwell's equation for magnetic field. Now, you know that if I'll take a open surface, suppose I'm taking this open surface, so we can see that flux is flowing through this surface, so we can find out the flux density. If I'll take the flux density is B, then we can say that flux per area is equal to flux density, and we will take a small surface and open surface, then we can write that this small surface, if we'll do the integration of this small surface, we can get a whole surface. Now this surface is open surface, so through this open surface what amount of flux density is flowing through this path, if I'll do the integration, we can get a flux. So we can write the magnetic flux through any surface is a surface integral of the normal component of B. So we can write phi is equal to surface integral open surface integral B bar dot ds bar. Okay. So this is the bar, means you are using the vector component of B arrow ds arrow. We can write, we can say B bar by dot ds bar. So now if I'll take, this is the definition for open surface, but if I'll take a closed surface, that means closed path, so total magnetic flux through a closed surface. So if I'll consider this one, this is entering here and leaving here and entering here. So this is a closed surface. Or if I'll take a current carrying conductor, so around this current carrying conductor, the flux flowing through a closed surface, right? This makes a closed path. So if I'll take a closed surface B dot ds, then this is equal to, we can write that is equal to 0. The total magnetic flux through a closed surface must be 0. Now, what does it mean? It means that if I'll apply on this equation the divergence theorem, so we can apply close. If I'll take, suppose forget everything, just I am taking here a closed surface. This is the definition of open surface. Now I am taking up to this part, so this part I am taking a closed surface. I don't know this is 0 or not. So closed surface B dot ds. So we can apply divergence theorem. So we can convert closed surface to open volume integral. Right? So this should be a open volume integral. This is not a close. This is a open volume integral. Right? So if I apply open volume integral, then what I am getting, divergence B dot B dV open volume integral. Now what does it mean? We can say that closed surface integral, if I'll take closed path, then the total magnetic flux through a closed surface is equal to 0. What does it mean? You know that in electrical circuit you can get positive charge, negative charge separately, but you know that if I'll take a tiny particle of magnet, then there is also, we can get a north pole and as well as south pole. So it is difficult to get isolated poles. In case of electrical circuit, you can get isolated charge, positive charge or negative charge, you can use it. But in a magnetic field, whatever the tiny particle you will take, then we can get both north and south poles are present. So it is difficult to get it is difficult to get a isolated magnetic pole. Or you can say, from this definition, divergence B is equal to 0, that this is known as differential form of Gauss law of magnetic field. You know that Gauss law in electric field that I'll describe in Maxwell's first equation. This is a Maxwell's equation for magnetic field. When I'll discuss Maxwell's equation for electric field for Gauss, applying Gauss law, then I'll discuss it. So this is the differential form of Gauss law of magnetostatic field, which shows that magnetostatic field have no source. The magnetic field lines are continuous. There is no discontinuity. That means it is entering here and it is leaving here and entered to this point. So there is no source. Okay. So also we can say that magnetic field is not conservative. So this is the one Maxwell's equation. So Maxwell's equation, what we have learned from the magnetic field, Gauss law of magnetic field, that we are taking first we know that flux is equal to open surface integral B dot ds. That means magnetic flux density of a surface, normal component, we can take it. Now if I'll take a closed surface, then we can get a total closed surface. If I'll consider any closed surface, you can consider suppose a ball, suppose this bar, whatever you can consider. So to this closed surface, the magnetic flux, or you can take a current conductor, then you can see the magnetic flux is closed line. So this, if I'll take this one, that means this surface integral of closed surface integral of B dot ds is equal to 0. The total magnetic flux through a closed surface must be 0. Okay. So that means it is not possible to get isolated magnetic pole. So that means no monopole doesn't exist in magnetic field, right? Or we can say that magnetic field is not conservative. So if I'll ask any question that to prove magnetic field is not conservative, then you can use this Maxwell's equation. Now from Bar-Savar's law, already I described, from Bar-Savar's law we have seen that if I'll take a current carrying conductor, and this current is a steady current, we are talking about steady current, and whatever we are talking about steady current. Okay, there is no time varying quantity. So steady current, if I'll take a steady current through this conductor, then you know that due to this current carrying conductor, magnetic flux will produce. If conductor the current direction is towards my eye, then the magnetic flux direction will be anti-clockwise, and if the current direction towards your laptop or phone, then the magnetic field direction is the clockwise direction, right? So now whatever due to this current the magnetic field is produced. So if I want to find out the field strength of this magnetic field at any point P, then we can apply Bar-Savar's law, and we can see that this is the equation for Bar-Savar's law. Now from this we can, I am not describing it because already I described it. So magnetic field of a straight current carrying conductor. So if I'll take a conductor which has a length of 2a, that means minus a to a, and I'm taking a positive y-axis and this is the positive x-axis, and I'm taking a current, a small element of current IDL, and what is the field strength produced? That means if I'll take this IDL amount of current, then it will produce a magnetic field due to this current. So what is the magnetic field strength at this point due to this current ideal, right? So now how to find it out? So you can see that this is a total pi. So this if we'll take as a phi, this is a from definition, you can see it here. So there is no figure, so if you'll go through this video you can see it. So I can take as a pi minus phi, this part, and this is a distance between this current conductor to this point is x, and the center point, if I'll take it as a center point to this current conductor distance, is the y. So the distance between, if I'll take as a, so a to p is r root over x square plus y square. That means our distance from ideal to this p point is the root over x square plus y square. Now if I want to find out what is the field strength or magnetic flux density produced due to this total length, the current carrying by this total length of conductor, right? So what I can use this formula. So now dl cross r, we can write dl r sine theta or sine phi. Now I am taking this internal, or you can say that this triangle, actually OAP triangle. If I'll take this one, then I can write sine pi minus phi. So dl sine pi minus phi, what is sine pi minus phi? X by r. So r is equal to root over x square plus y square. Now from minus a to a, this is the total length. So we can do the integration. Then you can find out mu 0 I by 4 pi 2a x root over x square plus s square. Now if I'll take that this is a very long conductor, that means this conductor is very long, and I want to find out magnetic field near to this conductor, not the very large distance. We want to find out near to this conductor what is the magnetic field strength due to this current carrying conductor, right? The magnetic field produced due to this current carrying conductor. So we can find out the magnetic field strength. Now if I want to find out near to this distance, then what I can say, the distance, that means this is a 2a distance. So this 2a distance is now is very high compared to this x. So I can neglect x. So if I neglect x, then I can find out that B is equal to mu 0 I by 2 pi r. So field near a long straight current carrying conductor. We want to find out field near a long straight current carrying conductor. And what I am getting, mu 0 I by 2 pi r. Now Bar-Sava's law you can use for every case. Any case you can take, you can apply Bar-Sava's law. Sometimes if the distribution is not proper, the field distribution is not proper, that case you can also apply computer solution, computer method also you can apply. Now applying is that case also you can use Bar-Sava's law. Now we are considering that in case of electrical field, you have seen that if I'll take a cylindrical or planar or spherical system, then we can apply to find out electric field strength using a Gauss law, right? Otherwise we can use Coulomb's law. So here in magnetic field we can also use for symmetrical distribution of flux. We can use Ampere's law to find out the field strength. Now, if I see that this current carrying conductor, the flux is produced, current is towards my eye, so flux is produced anti-clockwise direction. So what Ampere's law states? Ampere's law states that the line integral of a magnetic field intensity H around any closed path is equal to the direct current enclosed by that path. Here why I am taking direct current. We'll see in time varying field we have to modify this Ampere's law. So that is the different case, we'll see. But now we are considering that a direct current, a steady current is flowing through this conductor, and due to this conductor a flux is field is produced, and we want to find out any distance. Suppose this is the R, this closed path. So we want to find out that what is the field strength present here, or if you get field strength you can also find out magnetic flux. B is equal to mu H, right? So if you find out H, you can find out flux density also, B. Now how to find out? If I'll say in any circular path, right, if I'll keep it here a particle, right, if I'll keep it here a particle, then to move this particle, the length of this path and the particle movement is the parallel, right? If it is a perpendicular, then it will be out from this path, right? So centrifugal force, centripetal force, you have seen that time in physics. So I am not describing this how a particle is moving around a circular movement. I am not describing it. So now you can see that if this is moving, this, if I'll take this length, this small length, then B is also a this parallel to this path, or you can say that we can take a tangential length, right? If I'll draw a tangent, then this direction, along this direction will get a B or H. Now to prove, we have to find out that around a closed line integral of H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. That means the opposite thing. Previously we said that if current is flowing through a conductor, magnetic field around this conductor will be placed. Now I am saying that if a magnetic field strength or magnetic field is present in a closed form, in a symmetrical form, there must be a current enclosed, direct current enclosed. There must be direct current enclosed within this field, right? So from Biot-Savart's law we have seen that B is equal to mu 0 I by 2 pi r. So me by mu 0 means H. So you can, B is equal to mu 0 I by 2 pi r. So B is by mu 0 means H. So we can write H is equal to 1 by 2 pi r a phi cap, because if we will take as a cylinder, just like cylinder, right? So you can understand why I am taking a phi d phi or d phi a phi cap, right? So this dl, if I'll take this small dl, so what will be the small dl? That is equal to r d phi. Direction is a phi cap. It is from cylindrical coordinate system concept, right? So elemental length of circle is dl is equal to r d phi a phi cap. Now if I'll take this dl and put it here, so what I'm going to get, h is equal to 1 by 2 pi r a phi cap, we can put it here, and dl is equal to r d phi a phi cap. So we are getting 1 by 2 pi d phi h dot dl. Now if I'll do the integration, closed line integration, so if I'll do the closed line integration h dot dl, what I'll get? 1 by 2 pi closed line integral d phi. So closed line integral d phi means 2 pi. So we can put it here. So I by 2 pi closed line integral d phi is equal to, we can write I by 2 pi into 2 pi, so I. So we can prove it here that closed line integral h dot dl is equal to I enclosed. Now if I'll apply here, we can see that closed line integral, so we can apply Stokes theorem and we can convert it closed line to open surface integral. So if I'll put it here, applying Stokes theorem, we can get a closed surface line integral to, we can get open surface integral curl of h ds. That means we are saying a circular motion of h, circular movement of h, right? We are defining here. And when we can apply this Ampere's law, when we are taking a symmetrical distribution of flux, right? Now if I'll apply here I enclosed is equal to open surface integral j ds. This is the definition of current, and we'll see that conduction current, convection current. So this is the definition of conduction current. You can take I enclosed is equal to surface open surface integral j ds, just like a phi. You know flux is equal to open surface integral open surface integral of flux density dot ds. Similarly I जगह replace करो current दिए, so I can write current. So B is a flux density. Now the equivalent is current density, so we can write it here J, and the rest of the thing are same. So we can put it here. So if I'll see that if I'll put it in this equation, then we'll get curl H is equal to J. Now this is in bold form, that means it's a vector. So you have to, when you will write in your copy, you will use this bar. Curl H is equal to curl H bar is equal to J bar. This is the differential or point form of Ampere's circuit law. Now if I'll see the condition of Ampere's law, so for applying Ampere's law, two conditions must be satisfied. At each point on closed path, H is neither tangential nor normal to the path. And H has the same value at all points of the path where H is tangential. So this is not required. Just remember that one thing, that the closed path on which Ampere's law is applied is known as Amperian path or Amperian loop. This you should not require right now. Just you remember that if I'll take this Amperian loop, when I'll discuss about or we'll apply Ampere's law, we'll take a Amperian loop around a closed around a current carrying conductor, and then we can apply Ampere's law. Suppose if I'll take this if I'll take these three conductors, and these three conductors are carrying a current, and suppose here another conductor, suppose this another conductor is present here. Now what does it mean cross? Cross means current is entering towards your laptop, and dot means current is entering towards your eye. So this will take as a positive, this will take as a negative. So if I will consider that this Amperian loop, so I enclosed means these three currents are enclosed. This is the suppose I4 is not enclosed. So when we will apply Ampere's law, we will write as I enclosed is equal to I1 plus I3 minus I2. I4 will not be considered. So H dot dl, closed line integral of H dot dl is equal to I1 plus I3 minus I2. These three currents are enclosed within this Amperian loop. Now, why curl of finger we can apply when current is flowing through this conductor? We can make our finger as a curl, or we can take a curl of finger, and this thumb direction is already I mentioned. If thumb direction is saying that it's a current direction, then the curl of finger direction of your right hand around this around this path will give the direction of field, right? That I already described. Now so we are taking so you can apply Ampere's law. This is the Bar-Savar's law, this is the Ampere's law. Okay, so this you can apply for finite wear case. You can apply Bar-Savar's law. Infinite wear, cylindrical wear, but this is symmetrical distribution, current source that has certain symmetry, then we can apply Ampere's law. Now if I'll apply Ampere's law, what cases we can apply? Either infinite long straight wears, infinitely long large sheet of thickness, infinite solenoid toroid. So we'll see infinite long straight wear carrying a steady current I. Sorry. Now here you can see that the question is that infinitely long cylindrical conductor, this is the infinitely long cylindrical conductor, R carries a steady current. This already we find it out using a Bar-Savar's law, right? And we know that H is equal to I by 2 pi R. We have got it. H is equal to B by mu naught is equal to H. H is equal to I by 2 pi R. Now in symmetrical case, if we'll apply Ampere's law, it is more easier than Bar-Savar's law. So as it is a symmetrical distribution, we can take it. The current is calculate the magnetic field at the interior and exterior point. So or a solid cylindrical conductor, we are taking a solid cylindrical conductor, not a hollow conductor. Solid cylindrical conductor of a radius R. This radius R has a uniform current density. Okay, so symmetrical distribution of current density. Derive expression for H both inside and outside of the conductor. This current is density of this conductor. That means current flowing through a particular area, or surface. That is the current density. So this is the uniform or symmetrical, right? Or you can say this is a cylindrical type. So you can take a symmetrical distribution. Now find out the magnetic field strength. So in case suppose I want to find out due to this current flowing through this conductor, what is the field around this conductor, right? So first condition, we can apply Amperian loop to find out the outside of this conductor. So what we have to take, that current enclosed by this conductor. Current flowing through this conductor enclosed by the Amperian loop. Now this Amperian loop, if I'll take it, then I can say that H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. Now I have applied line integral, closed line integral H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. Now closed line integral dot dl. So this is the circular path, so we can get a circumference 2 pi r. So we can put it here 0 to 2 pi r d phi. You know from cylindrical coordinate system that r d phi a phi cap. You can take it. So d small dl is equal to, you can write r d phi a phi cap. Now if I'll take 0 to 2 pi because it's a circle, so we can write 2 pi r is equal to h. So h is equal to I by 2 pi r. So this is not a problem. And what we are saying, that h is inversely proportional to r. So if this r is higher than this radius of this conductor. Okay, this r distance from this current flowing through this surface or this point, and where we want to find out the magnetic field strength, this distance is r and the conductor radius is capital R. So here we are taking r is greater than r. So we can find it out that h is equal to I by 2 pi r. Now what we are saying, that h is inversely proportional to r. H is inversely proportional. If current is constant, then H is inversely proportional to R. So if I'll increase the R, then this field strength will decrease. Now what about the field strength inside this conductor? We are talking about outside this conductor. Now what about inside? That means near to this conductor. So here we have to find out the current density to find out magnetic field strength. Now what is current density? Because there is a uniform distribution of current density. So we can current per area is a current density. So J is equal to I by pi r square is equal to current density. So we'll see. So we can find it out the same way. Here also we can find it out, but if I'll see that now this R is small. This is a small Amperian loop now, and this is the R. And this is now small r. Second case. So what I am finding out, that now current is outside. So current density we are finding out. Where is the current? What is the current density of this Amperian loop? Now current density we can find out. J is equal to I by pi r square. Right? Now if I'll apply the same way, that closed line integral H dot dl I enclosed. Now H dot dl is equal to R d phi. So what I am getting, H 2 pi r is equal to I enclosed. So H 2 pi r I enclosed. Now what is I enclosed? Now I enclosed is not only that the only this current. Also we have to find out the current density. So if I'll find out current density, then we can write it here. Just I am doing the equation. Suppose so you are this is h into 2 pi r. So we can write it here that I j is equal to I by pi r square. So I is equal to current density into pi r square. Now if I'll put it here, then what I'll get? I enclosed is equal to, I can write j pi r square. So we can write j by jr by 2. That is equal to h. Right? Now what is j? That you can put it here again, I by pi r square. So you will get I by 2 pi r square. So what I am getting here? If I'll put it here b, then h mu by b by mu. So you can write mu naught j r by 2. Now what I am seeing here, just we are seeing that h is proportional to r. So if I'll reduce the r, then h will decrease. If I'll increase the r inside, that means if I'll go here, if I'll going towards this point, that means this point r is tends to 0, then h tends to 0. If I'll increase the r, then h will increase inside the conductor. But this theory will not be applicable if I'll go to the outside this conductor and we are taking a solid conductor. So solid conductor, if I'll go towards the midpoint of this conductor, then you can go to the center of the circle. This is circles. If we'll go towards the center of the circle, then field strength will decrease. If we'll increase the radius inside the conductor, then field strength will increase. But outside this conductor, if I'll increase the radius, then that means if I'll take the distance, far distance from the cylinder radius, then we can get a less amount of magnetic field strength. That means H will decrease. So this is the case 1 we have solved. We will not go through this large sheet or infinite solenoid. Okay. So this is just an application, one application for long straight wires, because if we'll use cable, that time it may you can apply this Ampere's law. So that's why I have told you how to find it out. So if I'll draw the graph, we can see it here increasing, and after that it is decreasing, the magnetic field strength. So next is, already I mentioned this one, so this is the problem. So what we have got it here, that curl H is equal to J. Applying Stokes theorem on Ampere's law, we can get curl H is equal to J. This is the Maxwell's another equation in magnetic field for steady in time invariant circuit. Okay, so static, electric and magnetic field. If I'll consider Maxwell's equation for static, electrical and magnetic field. So electrical field I will discuss later. Now as we have gone through a flux and flux density, field strength. Already we have seen the magnetic field, that means reluctance, permeability, everything that is related to a magnetic circuit we have learned. Now we are going to the flux and flux density and field strength. How to find out using Balsavar's law or Ampere's law, where we can apply it, how to apply this, that we have seen. Now from this we can derive a Maxwell's equation. Now Maxwell's equation for steady or static, electric and magnetic field. Now today we have learned the static magnetic field. If I'll take, then what would be the Maxwell's equation? The Maxwell's first equation for magnetic field is monopole doesn't exist. That means we cannot get isolated magnetic pole. So we can say that divergence B is equal to 0, right? So magnetic field is not a conservative. Next is we are finding out from Ampere's law that curl H is equal to J. That means if I'll take a current density, then around this current density there I would get a curl of magnetic field, circular motion of magnetic field around this current density. Okay, so this is a differential or point form of Ampere's circuital law, and this is one of the Maxwell's equation in magnetic field. And the integral form is this one, line closed line integral H dot dl is equal to surface integral curl of H dot ds. This is the integral form. This is the differential form of Maxwell.